All right, let's talk about the car. So here's the map. Anymore I talk about some other conversations. Anymore, they don't include the map. There's something that this car right now, it's such an over-the-road car. This car here is so smooth. It's an incredible car. This is a car you can go to California in. It is so comfortable. The seating's correct where you can, hey, no Crocs. Black shoes, can't see them, no Crocs. I don't know why. Here's a nice car, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful bike, guys. Loving the day. I was tempted to ride the Harley where I'm going today, but that thing doesn't have all the stuff I can put in it to make it work. I just said, forget that. I gotta drive the Gold Rush Challenger. The seating's so comfortable, and the seats are really nice and comfortable. And I haven't even checked that out. Do these bolsters, does this seat, oh, I hate this. Yeah, so the headrest doesn't adjust. And that Ford Lightning, same thing. That expensive truck, the headrest, I'm talking about this here, it doesn't adjust. Now, one thing you look at cars, you can see that seat, when you go down the road, does it vibrate? And I've owned so many cars, what I've picked up on cars is if that seat vibrates, that's kind of a little bit of a clue of what's going on with the car. And there's a little bit, but not much. But right now, well, it's an incredible car, but can you hear the exhaust? Sure, if I want to kind of get a little into it, so I'll give you a little burp here, right? Here you go. Yeah, so yeah. What you hear mostly is that supercharger. So you don't get that, you don't get the radical exhaust. And this car here, the tires are so big on it and so well connected, you just don't get that neck snapping type of feel. But here's what I've learned being on these Dodge forums. I gotta put my glasses on because the sun is bad. So here's what I've learned. These cars are so detuned, and there's a gentleman out there that has a tuning performance software where you can get this from this gentleman, and you can get an app on your phone, and you can literally tune your car through him helping you program your ECM correctly to open this car up. Because apparently, and I haven't really done a lot of research on it because I didn't want to do that, so I kind of really wanted to put my head into it. But there's a really young guy, cool guy, that has opened the door to so many of these Hellcat owners that he has figured out how to get the ECM to correctly be programmed and to get the most out of the power. And it's huge. We're getting on the Dodge forum that I'm in, on these Challenger Hellcats and Charger Hellcats, that this guy has mastered figuring out how to tune this car. And, because right now, sincerely, I'm just like nailing this car. And here's the downside. I've got electric vehicles that give you that really push-back inertia. And this car here right now, to me, don't get me wrong. It's a fun car, beautiful car. It's a fast car. But right now, I'm even questioning, is this car even doing what it should do? So I'm in the seats. And I should probably put this thing more in the track mode. So we'll do that. We're gonna go to the sport mode. Okay. So this should give this car a little bit more. But here's electronic stability control comes off. So I turn it back on, because if you don't do that, then good Lord, you're just really, we're at higher speeds. So let's just kind of see here what happens. So I'm down that there he goes. Okay, so I got my stability back on. All right, so they're not bad. Yes, that's pretty respectable. So a guy here thinks I'm racing him now, which I'm not. So to me, what you're hearing most in this car is you're really hearing, so there goes the guy, see, he thought I was racing him. See, I told you, right? Like, yeah, you're, good luck, buddy. So that truck, it's already walking. So that guy's doing that truck at 90, 100 miles an hour. Yeah, he's finding out that those trucks, just too much inertia. So anyways, and that's the thing with these roads anymore. You drive down these roads, you have to speed them, and people just run you over. Yeah, how many times I've talked about that? So you just kind of saw that little blip right there. And yeah, is this respectable? It is. You know, what I really need to do is get my GT500 out here, and the other guy that works with me, we need to do a little roll. We just so need to do a little roll run with that GT500 to the Redeye. I mean, I think it's going to be pretty much head-to-head. I don't think it's going to be radically different. And that's the problem. You get yourself into trouble. You know, this car really starts opening it up after the 80, 90 mile an hour mark, and you're in the 100 mile an hour range. And I'm going to tell you, if you get caught doing this stuff, it's so done. You're done. You're done. You know, so it's very, very risky. People video this stuff on YouTube and make it publicly known. And to me, I just think, man, if your insurance company ever finds out you just posted a public video, if you're doing roll racing with somebody, yeah, I'm just telling you, I really think for the most part they're gonna cancel you, because they're gonna classify you as a reckless driver, that you're disobeying the laws. Everybody says just go to the track, just go to the track. I can see the 20, 30 mile an hour, you know, 60, 70 mile an hour, you know, rolls. If you get it down to 20 miles an hour, you nail it and you kind of cap it off at that 70, 80 miles an hour. But the problem is you won't. You're gonna still be going at 90, 100 miles an hour to prove you get the badder ass car. Yeah, you know, and what's pretty cool is what I'll do is I'm gonna definitely do a video, and I've done this before, but just so many videos are so buried in, and people just didn't know me because I had very small subscriber base. But today you're riding around me in the Gold Rush Challenger, and I did change it into the sport mode here. This technology here is you can put this into like track mode as far as the shifting capability, but then you can keep it in the sport mode for the suspension and steering, or you can go to custom and I can have it more in the sport mode as far as the shifting, but the track suspension setup on it and the track steering, you know, so you really can, you know, manipulate the way the car performs. And once again, any of these Dodge forum members that I'm involved with, there's a tune that will really make this car become much more powerful and much more active. And because there's one gentleman that just did a track with his, and I've followed him for quite a few years, and he's had major blown up motors, blown up superchargers, you know, like the heat soak problems. And so what he did, he removed the Cadillac converters for the track racing, and now he has this new tune, and he's just jumping up and down saying this car has never performed or had the power ever that he's felt through this car. So that's really good, you know, good information. And I should do a hashtag for the gentleman here that is getting his own business going. And the danger is this guy's getting to be well known that he'll never have time for me, you know, when I reach out to him, or will he, right? So the sport mode seems to give this thing a little bit more of a higher, so maybe we're hearing a little bit more of exhaust note out of this. Steering's definitely a little tighter, because that's what it does. This suspension's a little more taut, so that's nice. And so it does. The sport mode definitely gives you a little bit more of that fun factor, you know, feel in the vehicle. A little bit more of a, you know, rougher, you know, bump, you know. So I'll do a little pass right here. You see there? So I caught it right there. So that was the right gear. So there, that was pretty impressive. That wasn't bad. This car is like a slingshot. It's like a slingshot type of car. And, you know, what I mean by that is I've had the narrow body Hellcat, which when you would do that in the narrow body, believe it or not, that's a 707 Hellcat that I owned. Plum Crazy 2016. And that car would bust loose because it had narrower tires. And what I learned out of my 2019 Redeye, but car doesn't, you know, it doesn't bust loose. It's more of the inertia slingshot. So you hear that? So that exhaust, nice. No doubt. Change out the exhaust in this car, for sure this car becomes a lot more fun, in my opinion. Put the tune in it, probably I'll be like, wow, eating my words. The GT500 is nicer. I said out of the box. You know, people don't listen to my message. I said out of the box. I didn't say the guy that mods this Challenger Redeye that it wouldn't just be the badder of the two. I didn't say that. I said out of the box, right from the factory, pick up the car, drive it home. Which has more excitement? The GT500 does. See? But with the sport suspension right now, this is really nice, for sure. And another nice thing about this, believe it or not, this Challenger Hellcat, the gas mileage isn't going to be, you know, correct at this time. So the guy on this car hit 103. That was his fastest speed. So 9.1 miles per gallon average. So what we're going to do, we're going to reset that. Because you can get 20 miles, you definitely get 18 out of this thing, 17, 18. And if you're on a long road trip, if you're a baby in it, 20 plus. But that GT500, no way. That GT500 is like a 13, 14, 15 mile per gallon vehicle. Maybe 17, maybe. But no way, those Fords don't do as well as I think the Hemi motor is designed. And that Hemi, you know, that Hemi designed head, I think it does a better fuel management and power. All right, we're getting close to having to go to work, and we'll be talking here very shortly. Classic. It's the Beamer time. Why do BMW drivers always want to race? What is that about? I'm not lying. Anybody but BMW's follow my channel, I'm not saying your BMW's not a nice car. And sincerely, help me out. Why is it when I'm in my nice cars and a BMW guy is around me, I'm talking about a guy, you know, I'm not talking about everybody, why does it turn into the race? Why? Hey, look at that there. Isn't that nice? That's a beautiful truck right there. Wonder what year that is. Isn't that something? Wow. My kid would go nuts over that one. Beautiful. Those are things people want. Just incredible. Pretty cool story. So the gentleman there in that truck, that Ford 250 series is coming from Texas. He's got a buddy of his that just paid him to go to Texas and pick that truck up. It's got a 460 big block in it, automatic, and the guy could have used like a car hauler company. It's 1,500 miles. He's already gone 1,500 miles. No, he's already spent like $1,500 in fuel. I don't know. This is crazy. I mean, this is just, oh my gosh. So that gentleman there, he owns his own landscaping company, but some guy he knows is the money man. He went to like Canada to get a John Deere tractor, so he's kind of like the multi-purpose guy, if you know what I mean. But that's a beautiful truck. But that's where it's all going. People that see how this EV age is coming along, it's just that stuff is becoming more and more sought after. I'd take that truck. That thing's beautiful. Yeah, don't get me going down that path. All right. Oh, I'm back on the road again. And yeah, for sure, when you put it in sport mode, that stays, I guess, in 7th gear instead of 8th gear. I mean, just an 8-speed transmission. You can see the RPMs, but what will happen though is if I keep it in the auto mode, this thing should get some really good mileage. You know, I just got to think of myself, I get people that say, hey, where's your wife? Where's your wife? I always see my daughter in my videos. You never see my wife in videos. Well, first of all, my wife, she just wants nothing to do with this. I mean, believe it or not, my wife numerous times, like, you're showing too much information, you're telling too much information. And I tell my wife, it's like, but people want to radiate, you want to radiate to people on your YouTube channel that, you know, who you are and what's reality. And I know for a fact that people are drawn to other people to feel like they can relate with them. That's how we kind of bond in life, that you can kind of like, yeah, I get that. You know, I like that person. Or it's truly, you know, I do not like that individual. I do not like them. I mean, it's like instantaneous, you know, how we as humans are kind of like the prey, like the wild kingdom, on how we're either attracted to each other or we want to ruin each other. I mean, that's how we are. It's just the human nature of how we operate. And that's what I try to tell my wife is, you know, if I don't make videos sharing with what I do and who I am, then people just don't connect with you. And that's what I try to radiate through my channel is, you know, I'm not trying to radiate through my channel, I'm bigger and better than you. I don't like that. I do not like that type of message. I don't like people that act that way. I just despise them. I just want nothing to do with them because I'm not bigger than better. I'm just another individual in this physical world that, one day will perish like everybody else. You're not that special, but for some reason, people get money and they get so rude and nasty. I mean, here I'm now reading an article this morning about the owner of either it's the Colorado basketball team, and maybe the basketball team, I'm not real sure. Yeah, I think it is. He's just a nasty individual, like Dan Snyder. Dan Snyder, who owns the Washington Redskins, which is now the Washington Commanders, is the nastiest guy in the world. And it's a typical scenario. He's got money. So he thinks he's better than you, and you're just a little rugrat. I mean, this is no lie. I've talked about this the other day in my video. This guy, Dan Snyder, if you go to his residence as an individual, do work around his house, you are told what you can and can't do at Dan Snyder's house. It's despicable. The guy's a piece of crap. Who would sacrifice themselves to do business with these type of people? I won't. I have nothing to do with these type of people. They're the worst, and the list goes on and on about these people have all the wealth that are just nasty people because they have money. And that's how I try to radiate my wife is, in a YouTube channel, either people are resonating with you and connecting with you, or they're totally turned off by who you are. And there's no doubt that anybody doesn't really know me and follow my channel, and they watch one video of me driving home a GT500 Heritage Edition, their instant thought is, this guy doesn't deserve it, and he's just spoiled, rotten, rich guy that had money given to him. I mean, I get that. I understand that. And that's why the rude comments are posted on my YouTube channel. I'm very small, thank goodness. I mean, I'm not that big, so I'm not that exposed, but I know the hate will prevail. If you get bigger, you have more subscribers, and you're, more, you just have more people watching you, you're going to get unfortunately, the hate side of your YouTube channel. It's just inevitable, whatever. So going back to my videos, and people saying, where's your wife? Where's your wife? And once again, she doesn't want to be involved in this. She doesn't want the public information about her being, known. And yeah, her husband, we're opposites. And what I think about that is, I talk about this in a lot of my videos, is in life, what I've recognized is, and I'm not saying this is to a T, but what I've witnessed is typically in life, when you're married and you have your first child, if it's a girl, the firstborn girl seems to have that father more personality. Not so much the looks, but more of the type of way they operate and think. And then when you have the firstborn boy, it seems to be the male is more like the mother. And I'm not saying that this is to 100% factual, but what I've witnessed, and if you just look at my YouTube channel, for myself, for my daughter, I mean, you have to hear me out. The first 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, my daughter being raised, she was raised by my mother-in-law. I owned 3 companies. I worked 7 days a week. People are seeing me now in a different phase of my life. Even for my child, she's been around me more than ever in my life, is I sacrificed time to be with her, and I put off chasing the dollar, because I could even chase the dollar more than I've already chased it. But I came to closure, I have quality time with my daughter and my family, and I'm fine. But yeah, can I make a lot more money? Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm not here bragging. I'm just telling you, if I want to go back to working 7 days a week, which I did most of my life, I can go do that and even make more money. But that's not what it's about. I'm about family at this stage of my life. And I'm just going back to, my daughter was basically raised by my mother-in-law for the first 7 years of her life, because I worked all the time. I didn't have time for my daughter. Yes, thank you, my mother-in-law, and I've praised her and my father-in-law before he passed, sadly, numerous times, that I was blessed to have in-laws that I could trust to take care of my kid. Because once you have a kid, you don't get it. So I have a kid, just to drop your kid off at somebody's house and think everything's beautiful, you're a fool. You better know who your kid is with, and just don't assume that nothing's happening. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad in this physical world. People do bad things to little kids. Yeah. Where'd that conversation go? It seems like a while back in a different administration, all these highline people are being reined in for all the bad things they do to young children. You notice how that's kind of disappeared? What happened to that conversation? Yeah, what? Oh, Epstein hung himself? Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. So yeah, bad. Rich people, sadly in this world, they're nasty people. There's just select few that are good to the citizens of this world. They just enrich themselves and they, poop on everybody else. So going back to the message is, for my daughter, where did those characteristics come that she likes what I like? And yeah, sure, I brought her home. So the first 7 years of her life, she didn't understand or wasn't around this stuff. I was buying cars and trucks and motorcycles, I should say cars and trucks, dirt bikes, ATVs, way before she came along and when she was growing up. So the message is, I truly believe, for anybody out there that has kids, that your firstborn daughter is going to probably be like the father, and the firstborn son is going to be more like the mother. And I tell people, this is the danger. If you're divorced and you've had one child, or maybe a boy and a girl in a marriage, you've had one, and you're the mother that got divorced to a guy, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's he, but I'd be willing to bet you'd say deep down, yeah, I see my husband and my daughter. And if it's a really bad breakup relationship, wow. And it goes on. You just hear terrible stories. I mean, sadly, as we all know, as individuals' physical world, there are some really bad stories. So why am I talking about this? Well, I'm bringing it up because people don't see my wife. And then other guys make fun that my wife doesn't live anymore and I'm going to be on the crime scene channel. That'll be my heyday. I'll be known for the YouTuber that eliminated his wife and ended up being on the crime scene show series. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, my daughter, she's a duplicate of me to a degree. Yikes. Wow. Right? Good, bad, right? Yeah, I see that. I get all that. And for the other individuals out there that are a mother that has a son, I can only hope that you see through them that that's you. Yeah, that's you. And that's what I tell my daughter all the time. The laughing joke is, my wife is very conservative on things that, she wouldn't own all the cars. She wouldn't do all the things I do because we're just opposites, which we don't want to of me in a relationship. It doesn't work. But here's the point. If we ever had a son, what would he have been like? If he'd been like my wife, I truly believe my son would have been more of the analytical, more of the enjoys the going to the library. Don't get me wrong, this isn't criticism. I'm just sharing information about how I think my son would have been. I think my son would have been a cool, great guy, but I think too he'd have looked at me kind of like my wife does, that you're nuts, you're crazy. I want nothing to do with all the stuff you do. And so would have my son been the motorhead? It's possible, very possible. Or would he have been more reserved type? It was just like, and I guarantee you, people watch my YouTube channel can say, you know what? I have a son that has nothing to do with riding motorcycles. It has nothing to do with the high performance cars. He doesn't like that stuff. His things are video gaming. His things are, he enjoys, more of the social lifestyle than the car lifestyle, if you kind of know what I mean. I'm not trying to get too personal here and irritate anybody. And so it's funny is right now this car, the road's so kind of imperfections. This car is kind of reminding me of my GT350 I had before Ford adjusted the challenge of the vehicle. Ford had to redo the front steering on those GT350s because the steering wheel would be jerked out of your hand. Yeah, I mean, literally, there was such a direct, race feeling car that Ford had to step in and change that steering dampener to, dampen the direct, road connection on that front end, because you'd be driving down the road and the damn steering wheel would be jerked out of your hand on some of these really bad roads. I'm going for a long ride now. Anytime I've worked on my, you have no idea how many weekends I've worked on my vehicles and worked, and it turns into, you leave the house and it turns into all day, you're gone. It turns into a 4 to 6 hour day. So yeah, have I done this on the roads? I'm getting on a road now where borderline it's going to be locked down, and I'll be like, why did I do this? Why did I do it? Just push it for another day, but I'm not. So anyways, the message there in this conversation is, hey everybody, your son and daughter are more alike than you realize to who you are. But for the guy that has a son that thinks that son is like him, he looks like him, I'm saying I doubt it. Your son's more like your daughter, you're like your wife. And for the mother that has a daughter that looks like her and thinks that daughter is more like her, the odds are it's more like your husband. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to start getting heavy traffic, and oh boy. So timeout time. Let me focus on this. Oh, here we are, sitting in the good old DC metro areas, crapola Saturday traffic. Just had a guy in a Mercedes, all done up, 4-door sedan, whatever. I'm not the Mercedes guy, but definitely the performance edition. So he went by me. We don't make any sense. These guys, what they do is they blast you. And for me, I'd love to get up next to him and do a little bit of a roll, see how it goes. But they just run away. I don't understand that. So the guy going down the road, putting down the road, and I went by him because I'm moving down the road. And all of a sudden he decides to catch up me. And he shows off and goes by me. And I catch up to him. And then he deliberately gets away from me so I don't get up to him again. And it's like, come on, man. Don't you want to have any fun? I mean, don't you want to, I've done this many times in my cars, and it's pretty fun. You just get a guy, you're doing 20, 30, and then it opens up and you can kind of get into it and have some fun and see what each car does. But other guys, they just turn into like, chicken. It's just about having some fun. Let's see what that $200,000 Mercedes-Benz does. I want to see. I'd like to know. I've done it before. In my GT500, I ran that AMG 2-door, dark version Mercedes, and yeah, that GT500, no way, I couldn't take him. I mean, he took me, but the car's like a $225,000 or whatever, V12, 600 or 800 horsepower car, and but a nice guy. He looked at me kind of like, yeah, this is fun, so whatever, right? Yeah, it's a Saturday road construction. I mean, why? Why do these guys do this stuff? I'm the guy that says you have to do it at nighttime. The roads are just way too busy. It's nighttime projects, man. It's just ridiculous. When you see rental places with tons of equipment sitting around, that's an indication right there was not a lot of equipment sitting around. So that means they're staying busy. Sport mode's a huge difference in the performance. Yeah, the regular mode, this thing's a total dog. So sport mode, maybe like those Challenge or the Ford products, maybe those open up the ECM, because on the regular auto mode, this thing's a total dog. Yeah, I'm not lying. I mean, 700, it's supposed to be 808, I think. I think that they bumped it to 808, or I'm just imagining things. So it's 797 Demon motor, but for me, I'm so exposed to these performance vehicles, and yeah, when I take 1,000 horsepower, that's what I was waiting for. A lot of my Mopar community friends don't know is I really was always wanting to pick up the 1,000 horsepower Hellçat 426 motor package, and it may be coming up. We may get a announcement with that, I think, in November. But I'm just telling you, it's going to be a limited run. Tim Kuniskis has already told everybody that a lot of people are disappointed because he's basically radiating to people that, guess what? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and make this one run of this 426 package. It's 1,029 horsepower, but be lucky to get one because there's going to be just a limited amount of them built. But that's what I would love to have. I'd love to have 1,000 plus horsepower. Now, I know I can go ahead and mod this and tune it, and that's where I cross the bridge. Am I keeping it? If I'm going to keep it, do it. If you're not, I think it takes away the value of the original value of the car. So yeah, so I don't know. It's just I'm gonna have to feel off the market. If the market of these Hellcat cars starts getting stupid like the GT500s are, then yeah, I'll probably part with it and get good money out of it. But if the market's not getting crazy, then I probably might just say, all right, I'm going to keep it and whatever. You know what I mean? Here's the track. Finally kind of broke up, but it's going to be heavy again. It's just pockets. This is like perfect weather for these ICE vehicles. You know, the 70-degree, range, and here we are. See here? So it's just pockets. You run down the road, and it just goes from opening it up to shutting it down. It's just everything. Brother's out. Everybody's back. I tell you what, the roads are really busy again. I'm glad to see it. We're back out and about. I'm glad. You know, the virus thing is an everyday conversation. You know, when the media every day tells you you're going to die of that virus, people stayed home. You know, the media 24/7 told people you're going to die. I mean, does anyone remember this? 24/7, all day long. And what do most people do? Sat in their house, watch the news as a person told you you're going to die. 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 And you're going to die. That's all they talked about. I mean, so is everybody wondering why everybody stayed home? I mean, is anybody connecting the dots? Just get your major news networks when all somebody talks about is you're going to die. You're going to die. You're going to die. The virus didn't kill you. The virus didn't kill you. Best thing you can do is sit at your house. You won't die. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people died at their house actually. So, anyways, not to go political. Yeah, can I have a political channel? Can I do? You know, there's a guy that's a cool guy. I might call this guy out. His name's Dan. He has a channel called I Allegedly. And, you know, I tune into it here and there. I mean, he's a good guy. I don't want to be the guy on the YouTube channel calling another guy on the YouTube channel. That's not the message. But, you know, he has a channel that he has a lot of subscribers listening to how everything's going to come to a grinding halt. Yeah, who talks like that, right? But his whole channel is based around the economy and the hardships that are upon us, and blah blah blah, and the radical things are going to happen in the world. That's his channel, and he has huge subscribers and huge followers. And that's what I'm saying to you. Could I create a channel where I could start talking all this rhetoric and get the followers? You know, I probably could, but do I want to? I don't. I mean, I really want my channel to be more upbeat, more entertaining, and more informative, and more about kind of try to break away from all the negativity media. I mean, that's really kind of my goal here is, hey, you can turn on a channel and you get to experience what I do. I'm driving, you know, Hellcat, Redeye, wide body, Dodge Challenger. Who gets to enjoy that? And I just went to sport mode, and you can see up here in the dash, it says sport mode right here, right? So it's a whole new animal. It's a whole different ride of a car. It's actually now a lot more fun. That you go back to that SRT page as I was showing you, and you go back to the auto, and this car is just like, it's like a sedan. It's like driving a regular old sedan car. But now the sport mode's got the transmission up in higher, probably 7th gear. I don't think 6th gear. And so it's getting more of an exhaust note out of it. The suspension is more taut. And, you know, you're just getting much more of the interaction, this car being more of the performance, you know, oriented type of car. And that's what we want, you know. It has to, you know, just catching that gear. You got to catch the right gear, and that's the whole key. Like GT500 is the same way. If I'm kind of doing a roll to get power out of it, you got to kind of be down that 30-mile-an-hour range area before it go to 2nd gear. If it stays in 3rd gear, it will not do what you want it to do. It's actually very disappointing because it takes too long for it to get the energy out of it. So you need that 2nd gear to really, you know, take the car and go, you know, ba-blah, ba-blah. This is the same way, and I don't know this car enough because I'm not riding around it enough. You know, what's the gear? My guess is going to be possibly the same thing. You really need that 2nd gear to catch. You know, and as I ride around these performance cars, you know, more than ever, there's so many cars today that have incredible horsepower in them. You know, you're kidding yourself riding around this and just thinking you're just gonna smoke everybody. I mean, yeah, you're gonna definitely pull majority of people, but I tell you what, if you know the Kia Stinger, that Kia Stinger is a fast sleeper car. I ran a guy in my GT500, and he could not take me, But I did not just like walk the guy away to oblivion. You know, I mean, so the guy, I was very impressed that Kia Stinger, and those guys, if they mod them, we have a Kia Stinger group that shows up every Sunday out there at the Leesburg car meet. A bunch of them usually show up, and 4 or 5, 6 of them roll up. And man, I can guarantee if they mod those things, I'd have to honestly say they would hang with this Hellçat Redeye. Would it take it? I don't know. I don't know the weights on those things, and I don't know the power that they got and what their gear ratio is. You know, the Challenger and the Mustang GT500, they're heavy cars. These are 4,300, 4,500 pound cars. If that Kia Stinger's coming in at like 3,900, you know, 4,000 pounds, it's a four-door sedan car. So I have to think it'd be within reason of the weight to this car. But at the same time, if these guys mod them, it wouldn't surprise me if they hang right there with these type of cars. And that's a fun thing. You get on the roads and some of these guys come up next to you. And you just do these little roll sprints with each other. And you kind of get to respect each other, what they got. The GT50 Mustang and the non-Redeye Hellçat, regular Hellçat, I've been blown away. The GT50 at 0 to 60 is right there. The SRT 392, same thing. I've talked about it many times. It's right there in that 0 to 60 times, meaning as we're going up the road, it's not like I'm 3-4 car lengths ahead of that car. I'm maybe half a car length, maybe a car length ahead of them, maybe. It's not like 80 miles an hour, the crazy speeds. You got to start doing 100 miles an hour plus to really start walking those cars. You know, that's the danger. Now I'm going to read the really heavy stuff. It's getting over the bridge. I already know the bridge will be locked down, so that'll be the drag. I'm trying to accomplish things today, so tomorrow's more my free day. That's kind of what's going on. Plus, I'm really wanting to drive the Challenger and share my experience with it, because I bought it, you know, I probably bought this thing a month ago. Yeah, I think it's been a month. I think it has. How do I know? Yeah, because my first damn car payment. Yeah, I think this thing's cheap. Yeah, I mean, you know, people watch my channel, you know, the guys have the real money, they just write a check. It's over. Yeah, I've talked about that many times too. Write a check for $100,000. That was your $150,000 income you just gave up. Yeah, so you just paid $150 for the car. Hello? Hello? You buy a $50,000 car and you write the guy a check, you just paid $75,000 for the car, man. Hello? Hello? Duh. And there goes the 90 mile an hour guy. I mean, see this car here, it's a 100 mile an hour car. That's the reality. It's a 100 mile an hour car, and that's the danger. This thing just hums along at 70, 80 miles an hour like nothing. I mean, it needs to live in Germany. That's something. You go to Germany and just drive 100 miles an hour. I mean, just check our, I'm in the sport mode, so I'm kind of taking away my fuel mileage. Oh, there you are, 19, see there? So if I put this thing back in the regular auto, non-sport, and it kicks into 8th gear, you get 20 miles per gallon of these vehicles, which I can't get that. I just can't get that out of my other vehicles. I mean, meaning that the GT500s I'm talking about. Now the SRT 392s, yeah, those things, I go sitting like 22 to 24 miles an hour, so I get a Dodge guy next to me. So show them a little excitement, but here we are, all locked down. I knew it. So this here is the bridge to get into Virginia, and I've done this so many years. I used to ride my Harleys. Around, and I get this track. So there's a guy right there. So that guy right there, yeah, he already knows. He's going to be in bumper to bumper traffic. This will be a 30-minute. This will take 30 minutes at least to get across this bridge. Yeah, live on the roads. But anyway, so here's the Challenger, and hope everybody's kind of enjoying the video overall and kind of getting a feel. You know, you're kind of getting a feel for riding the car. That's how I always thought is, you know, how do you radiate? Oh, this is funny. So there's the Atlas Blue Lightning truck that came available up there at Coons, Baltimore. So see, to me, that guy was holding off. I could have got that truck right there. You know, it's kind of unfortunate, but I should have pushed the envelope in that. You know why? I would have gotten the tax credit again, and the guy was sitting on the sidelines. The guy wouldn't buy it. I was so aggravating. I was like, well, why doesn't the guy let it go? Well, because he's thinking about it. I'm like, no, he's shopping to somebody to buy it from him and paying big money for it. And I guarantee you, Coons Baltimore Ford ended up paying him more money than he could find. Hear me out. That F-150 Lightning back there, the exact same truck up there at Coons Baltimore Ford today, the black truck was up there, and I was inquiring about it. And my sales guy's like, oh, that's funny. My sales guy now is bugging me to buy another car. A Beamer. Just not the Beamer guy. Sorry, everybody. I don't dislike Beamer. I've had a bunch of BMW motorcycles. It's a great product. I'm just not the Beamer guy. So anyways, I was bugging him about that F-150 Lightning Atlas blue color truck. And he's like, well, the guy's thinking about it. I'm like, what do you mean he's thinking about it? And my sales guy goes, well, we're giving him 30 days to figure out if he wants to buy it or not. I'm like, you're giving that guy 30 days? Do you know what that guy's doing? He's like, what? I'm like, the guy's shopping the car to find somebody to buy it, because I'm sure Coons Baltimore Ford offered him at least 10K over, maybe 15K over, maybe 20K over. I don't know what they offered him, but I'm sure that guy behind the scenes is going, okay, so the dealer will pay me to let it go, but I can find somebody else that'll give me more money. And he probably tried to finagle a deal behind the scenes, and eventually he probably raised his hand and gave up and took the money that Coons Baltimore Ford gave him. Meanwhile, I could have bought that car in the Atlas blue. Now, does it really matter at the end of the day? Well, it's just the point that here's a guy that's only reason he ordered the truck. Wait a second. The only reason the guy ordered a truck, he's going to sell it and make money off of it? Wait a second. Who's this guy in front of the camera right now? What is he talking about? You freaking hypocrite? I know. The channel should be called the Hypocrite Channel. I get all that. Yeah, I know. Listen to yourself talking. Yeah, so a guy buys over, then he turns around and sells back dealers. Yeah. Well, my point is, the guy should at least bought it, taking it home like the guy did in the black truck, because this is the thing. I don't know. Since he didn't buy it, did Coons Baltimore Ford even pay him any money for it? I don't know. I mean, that guy just may have, maybe he couldn't get the financing. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe the wife was pounding her fist. I mean, a lot of economic changes are happening. As anybody knows, if you're in the stock market right now and you had 100 grand in the market, I'll be amazed if you have 70 grand value in your stock portfolio right now. Yeah, so if you're the husband wife talking, it's like, okay, let me see if I get this right. You want to pull 70 grand out of our stock market to buy that truck, and you still haven't even been able to buy it, but then you're going to flip and make 10, 20 grand off of it? I'm not buying this, honey. No, I don't like that story. No, we're not pulling money out of the market. No. And no, you're not buying the truck. We're not making the money we used to. You're not buying the truck. What if somebody doesn't buy it? It's an argument. The wife and the husband argument. If you're a married person and you understand this language, you get it. You're probably divorced. I get it. All right. Try a little better, I thought. So that's encouraging. Wow. I'm definitely the unique one on the road, right? Am I getting some attention? Fun car. I mean, I can't emphasize enough. In the sport mode, this car is a lot. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Is that what we want to say it is? So yeah, a lot more fun. Get a little crackling on the back end exhaust. So that's nice. Yeah, the danger is I don't want to, if I love this car too much, I won't let it go. Yeah, if I love the car too much, I won't let it go. That's what they say. If you're a real car enthusiast and you're actually a car enthusiast wanting to make money off of cars and enjoy what they have, you can't get attached to them. You got to have the mindset that, yeah, I'm buying this to take it and enjoy it, but then I'm getting rid of it to make money off of it. I've never been like that, though. That's my challenge. Yeah, the dangers. Could you imagine if they had, the polygamy or whatever the law is in Utah, you can have multiple wives? I can even imagine if they had a law that this country acknowledged, multiple, triple, quadruple, how many wives would I have? I mean, really? Would I be the guy that has 10 or 12 wives? Yeah, right. Yeah, talk about already being dead. You wouldn't even know me. Hey, ladies, don't take that the wrong way now. I'm just sharing with you that you ladies are powerful people. If you haven't figured that out as a guy, I always have said this. Behind every strong man is a stronger woman. If you haven't figured that out, then okay, keep on living. But yeah, I want 10, 12 women in my life. Oh my gosh. Can you even imagine? You hear these stories. And people have 4, 5, 6 wives. Yeah. Unique individuals, yes. Is that something I want? No. And then you imagine if you had like 10, 12 kids. It's just, yeah. See, for me, what are my addictions? Yeah, you know what my addictions are. Are they women? No. They're cars and trucks and motorcycles. I can sell it and get rid of it tomorrow, and that's it. It's over. The car doesn't call me. I can go have fun in a car, and I can go blast around out of fun, you know, and then I can test drive a really cool car and have a lot of fun with it. Yeah, go test drive a woman. Yeah, or if you're a woman out there, go test drive a guy. How does that play out? Yeah, it doesn't play out well. For me, I just give the keys back to the dealer, say I don't like it, or I do like it, but I'm not in a position to buy it, and see you later. Yeah, take that one-time date out. Yeah, how's that all play out, right? Yeah. Hey, isn't this supposed to be a car channel? What the hell's going on? You know what? I can so remember July of like 2014 or whatever year, this road got totally locked down on a 100-degree day. I was all leathered up in my leather gear and a Harley, and I'm sitting on this road and going putting in and out. I mean, just burning up like you can't believe. Where you're on a motorcycle and you're on these roads, these asphalt, like down in Florida. It's like you're gasping for breath. That heat coming off that asphalt when you're stopped, and then you have the engine and the bike, and then if you have your motorcycle pants on and a decent jacket on, you're just gasping for breath. You're sweating. Oh, it's exhausting. And I'm not lying to you. I used to drive around on my motorcycles and work. I mean, my dad used to ride around with me. Yes. Yeah, I was just, oh my gosh. So I used to look forward to doing it. Nope. Because what happens is it takes the fun factor away from riding the motorcycle. Away from now I'm working and you don't have that enjoyment. You're in stop and go. When I was down in DC one day on my bike, this young kid in a car, he wanted to run me over. You know, I was at an intersection, and at the last second I saw this guy blasting. You know, he was doing 60 miles an hour down a 25-mile-an-hour road, and just out of control. And I nailed my front brake and stopped that bike right before he went by me. I mean, those are the type of things that happen on motorcycles. He didn't give a crap. You know, he didn't give a, I mean, he didn't care. And that's the danger on motorcycles. People will take this attitude like, I don't care. And yeah, they'll kill you. And will they go to jail for manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, behind the wheel of a car for 10 years maybe? Yeah, maybe. They can probably get out in 5 in good behavior, but you're done, you're gone. Yeah, their life's screwed up temporarily. All right, back to... So that was better than I thought. So thank God that kind of worked out a little better than I thought. Now, on the other northbound side, you'll see here in a second when you come around this bend that this is frickin'... These people, you know, it's a joke. But it's the Beltway. It's this D.C., Virginia, Maryland area. And I talked about it already in my video that 30% of the people are remotely working now from home, which I've been talking about that all year. And so the traffic is lighter. It is lighter. Yeah, hard to believe. Traffic is lighter in this area. Yeah, right. This is the guy that ruins your day. Look at this guy, left-hand lane, fully loaded up with all the frickin' wood, you know, and Jesus Christ, you know as well as I do, that wood's gonna come out of that truck. Left-hand lane driving. The tunnels, or I should say the bridges. Listen to exhaust here. You know, having this thing in sport mode, it's definitely got a lot more character to it. So I will say, I'll eat my words on the GT500. I still think has more of a fun factor. But this car right now in the sport mode, definitely a lot more attitude, a lot more fun. It's a tough turn right here. Get in without hitting somebody else. The car's pretty good radius. That Mustang, I don't think that Mustang GT500 has good a turning radius as this does. So yeah, sport mode, this Challenger Redeye, I have to honestly say, has really opened my eyes back up to this really is a fun car. And it has a whole different attitude. So anybody watching my people think, you're all bent on a GT500. I'm just saying, I think the GT500 radiates more of that just racetrack feel. But in the sport mode here, I will say that this thing definitely is, more than I've really kind of have felt previously in my other Redeye, just more of a fun performance car. So, yeah, am I eating my words? Yeah, I think I am, because I really can think now that, kind of radiating message is this thing's not that much fun as the GT500. Nah, that's not true. All right. You drive these roads, it's not posting it, but for me to be outside of the Beltway into this greenway, or I should say it's toll, it's like $4. And since that whole other side of the Beltway was all locked down, I'm just going to gamble that it's a debate. Sometimes it's a total waste of money, but yeah, you pay road taxes on buying fuel, and if you ride around this DC area, these tolls are huge. They can get you for $10, $20. So if you take like 66 east to the Washington in the prime time morning hours, say from like 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., you could pay $20 to get up that road into DC. I mean, just ludicrous. So if you're a person that commutes around here, I talk about this all the time. The pandemic came in, people that in this DC area stopped commuting, that was a $10,000 raise. And some people maybe 15 to 20. And you're like, no way. Absolutely. The Greenway where I am and the toll road, if you take that road round trip, that's close to $20. $20. So if you're driving to DC down this major toll road to keep your time efficient, you're $7 at the one toll, you're $2.50 at the next to the exit. That's $9.50. All right, 9 times 2 is 18. That's $19, not including your downtown parking pass fees if you're in DC. All right, so there's $20, 22 days. That's $440. Factor your gasoline of your car, because these people that commute from West Virginia and the western part of Virginia that go to DC, all right, so if you got a vehicle that gets 20 miles per gallon, you're doing 80-mile days, right? So what's that? That's 4 gallons of fuel. There's another, easy numbers, $10. So you're $30, conservative, very conservative. So you take $700 a month earned income, that's over $1,000. That's 12 grand. So all these people sitting at home remotely working, I'm not even talking about the wear and tear in your car, the maintenance, the schedules, and everything else. So I'm very conservative. That's 15 grand. $15,000 that an individual saved on monies commuting to work. Not even including lunch and breakfast. If you're the type of person that's too lazy to make your own lunch and too lazy to make your own breakfast, so now you're running up the road and go to the convenience store, and there's $5 to $7 easy. Lunchtime, there are $5, $7. So on a good day, there's $40, $30, $40. And it was a running joke I used to talk to my dad about so many years ago was, and this isn't pointing at just women, it's just pointing as a parent. If you're a parent that goes to work and you have a child, you have to put them in daycare, we know daycare can be $500 a week. Okay, so here you go. So I couldn't, I would have had to stop up here. So I'm definitely moving quicker, but it's not as bad as I thought. I thought I'd be stopped up a little further. So now I just paid $4 to avoid this little snarl here. Whip-de-doo. Yeah, exactly, whip-de-doo-dah. So if you're a parent that has to put a kid into a daycare, I mean, I'm going to say $500. I guarantee you some people tell me it's like $700. $500. That's $2 grand a month, right? So now if you're a working individual that drives to work, and I just gave that scenario, if you're spending $700 a month on toll road fees and fuel, well, if you add in food, if you're the person that's buying breakfast and lunch, there's another, I'll just say $15. I think it's $20. All right, that's $1,200. You're $1,200 a month to go to work, right? Okay, but you're paying $2 grand a month for your kid to go to a daycare. So at the end of the day, the running joke is you're going to work, and between the daycare and driving to work, you don't have a paycheck. Yeah, think that through. You know, you're $2,000 a month for the kid, $12 a month for your habits of driving back and forth to work. That's $3,200. All right, $3,200. Gross income is going to be like, I would say $4,500. And for $4,500, that's going to be, you know, 50,500 times 12 is 6,000. You know, you're at $55,000, $60,000 income. You just go to work to pay for the child care and drive back and forth to work. Yeah, think that through. What I just told you. So here's the answer. I get it. I've had it. I have a kid. If you think taking care of a kid all day is easy, yeah, anybody knows that the kid. No. So the running joke to me was, as a parent, I'm not calling out a lady or a man. I'm saying either or. You just want to go to work. It's taking care of the kids, too much damn work. Yes. So you better be making $120, $150 to justify that. At least 80 or 90 grand. Wow. So now I'm in the auto mode. It's not in the sport mode, and that's what I got to emphasize. Just like any other cars I have, until you put them in sport mode, you're not really getting the enthusiasm out of them. So, you know, this thing, the Challenger Redeye, yeah, it's a badass, a lot of fun. It really is. Now it's my, I got to get energy. I got to get gas. Yeah. I haven't taken many pictures of the car outside of the car. All I've seen is me yabba dabba doom in the front with the pins on it. See that up there? I got a guy at Mercedes, which I don't know what this is all about, but he wants to prove he's better, so I get it. It's all about you got your S500. I mean, for the record, how much is that car right there? Is that $150 or $200? But you know what? A lot of people lease these cars. So a lot of people, it's misled. Don't get me wrong. That gentleman there or lady is probably very successful. God bless them. I'm not here to call them out. I'm just saying a lot of people buy these high-end cars. You lease them. You know, that's what I did. I had a Jaguar F-Type SVR, and Jaguar were so desperate wanting to get rid of those things, I got a hell of a lease deal on that thing. I mean, otherwise, it's 150 grand. They discounted it to 120 to do the lease on it. And if it wasn't for all those variables, I couldn't justify buying that car. $150,000 two-door 4-hour, and you put down 50 grand, and your car payment's still $2,000 a month. Yeah, that isn't who I am. People think it is. That's not. I'm not. Yeah, I got a lease for half that price, and I only had to put down first month's payment, tax and tags, and last month's payment. So you know, it was like $4 grand out of my pocket, $5 grand out of my pocket. But I had a hell of a deal with a hell of a nice car. I traded that for the Toyota Supra. And you know what? I had a hell of a time getting rid of that thing. Nobody wanted to buy it. Here's a $150,000 car. I'm not embellishing. That I got for $120, and I was being quoted 60 grand. 60 grand. This is back in the September of 2019 when I went and traded that for a Toyota Supra. Nobody would give any money for a car. The gentleman works at the Tyson Toyota here that's gone. His name is Dave, gentleman like my age. He went out of his way. He found a person out of New York that would pay 70 grand for it. And the buyout on it was like 75 or 78 grand. So he had to roll negative equity into the Toyota Supra to get the deal to go down. But it took forever. The Jaguar dealer, they were at 62. I mean, despicable. It's sickening. So if you buy a high-end, it's all changed right now. I get it. Right now, it's stupid money. But if you go back to 2019, pre-pandemic, if you bought a $100,000 car, you're lucky to get 50 grand for it. Yeah, on high-end cars. It's why? Because the manufacturer is making a bloody fortune off these high-end cars. Why? Because the Jaguar Land Rover guys are making a bloody fortune off your one sale. If you don't think they make $2-3 grand, yeah, right. Yeah, and I'm sure I'm calling me. I go, no, we don't make that type of money. Really? You guys live in $1 million homes and drive lavish cars? Fuels though, you don't $250,000 a year live in a car dealership? All right, whatever. Hey, I hope you do. I'm on your side, you guys. I do. Right? Yeah. Time to get fuel. Right, we got the road warriors out and about. There's some guys hauling butt down this road. I mean, you know, for me, I'm just idling along. This car's so dangerous. These these guys, that Audi guy is pulling about 90. And how does that all play out? I know the stories too well, but you know, around this DC metro area and a lot of areas anymore, I mean, sincerely, 55-mile-an-hour posted speed limit, who does it? I mean, I think the speed limits are archaic. With the technology of cars today, I think in these open roads, 55-mile-an-hour speed limits, it blows me away. I'm down in Florida. I'm going down 2-lane back roads through residential neighborhoods that are 55, have a posted speed limit of 55 miles an hour. I mean, and here's this open road. But it's all about the tax man's revenue. You know, it's all about, if they raise it to 65 or 70, yeah, in all reality, people would do an 80, 90. But the reality is 55 gets them their tickets. And it gets your reckless driving. This road here, if you're doing 75, it's a reckless driving ticket because you're 20 miles an hour over. And, you know, it's 70 miles an hour, easy to do down this road. Yeah, majority of people are going 65, 70 miles an hour. And then the select few are doing 80 and 90. I've witnessed that one day. This is the middle section to get to the airport. You don't pay a toll. And I'll never forget seeing this guy's Camaro convertible. It was classic. Beautiful sunny day like today. I just about bought one of those. That's the SVR, Range Rover Sport. The damn thing's $120,000. I mean, I had the Range Rover Sport with the 500 horsepower supercharged V8 motor. I had a gold one. I should have never sold that. That was a really nice car. I got a really great deal on it too back in 2018. So now we got the Ford truck man who wants to be Mr. Badass on my tail. She'll try to follow me probably. There he goes. He's gonna try. Oh, we got a GT guy. This is a GT 350, I think. Yeah, so see here, this guy's already doing 75 miles an hour, so he doesn't want to slow down to even catch up. You know, so he doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't want to play. But see, my car right now, it's not even doing what it should do. So right now, the gears are so high that the damn thing isn't gearing down. You know, so that's the problem with these cars. If you don't gear them down, but that's a GT350. They're not fast. I've owned them. They're really good looking cars. It's a track car, but it's not a car. It's not a straight line fast car. But going, yes, that guy doesn't. He just want to play around, which I get all that. I mean, he's right there. So yeah, the guy in the Camaro, yeah, he goes down that toll road in the middle lane in a convertible Camaro. Wasn't like a ZL1, just like an SS, nice Camaro, and he's doing 100 plus miles an hour. And you just see him go by, and you know, and then he's gone. And then miles and miles and miles down the road, kind of where I showed that video, that middle road, he reappears on the side of the road with the police. You know, so I mean, that was just classic, because this guy is having a good old time rock and rolling down the road, and sure enough, the guy, that's nice. This guy here, that's that voodoo motor. It's a beautiful. I love that voodoo motor. I mean, that really is a nice car. I don't like how in 6th gear it goes. It's too bad car didn't have the rev match. If my GT350 had the rev match, and I probably had a hard time letting it go. But that 16 model, it just wasn't it. You know, it just didn't do anything for me on that fun factor. And that's why my kid didn't like that GT350 Mustang, because it didn't have the rev matching. And then in 6th gear, it goes to total quiet, you know, a quiet car, because the exhaust valve is turned off, so it silences it down. Yeah, but back that Mustang guy, so that guy got caught doing over 100 miles an hour. That guy, if he doesn't have a good lawyer, you know, he's got challenges. You know, and what I mean by challenges, he's got a reckless driving ticket, and he's having his license suspended and revoked. And if they clock him over 100 and they want to be really brutal on him, after 90 miles an hour in Virginia, it's for every mile an hour over, it's you should go to jail. So if you get clocked at 100 miles an hour, if you can't get the judge to be, you know, give him community time or something else, he's going to go to jail for 10 days. Yeah, it gets radical in the state of Virginia. all right, got to get gas. And my videos, this phone only does an hour and a half before it shuts it down to create a movie. I'm sure I'm probably close to that, so eventually I'm gonna have to kind of, you know, shut up. Is that what I have to do? I've become the Sam's regular now. I used to always go to Costco, and now I go to Sam's. But I'll be curious, how's the gas pumps? Speaking of gas, how are we doing on mileage? Because I've been kind of running this thing a little bit. 19.7, so the sport mode's been the most common mode right now. There's a guy, you don't see it. These are so dangerous, these intersections. Our car blocks you. But so up at my Costco, there'd be a huge line to get into the gas station. And this thing takes premium. And I'm pretty sure that this Sam's Club, not bad, thank goodness. This doesn't seem to be tyrannical. Up where I live, that Costco gets crazy. Yeah, well, maybe I'm speaking too soon because there are more cars here. I thought, well, everybody goes for that. Does it have a reachable? This thing has a reachable hose. We should be all right, actually. We should be able to get up there and pull it over to the left. If you know what I mean. If it has a reachable, I could be wrong. Yeah, it does. Yeah, so 19.7 miles a gallon. So not too shabby at all, actually. Uh-oh. What's this guy doing? Whoa, 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 dude. What are you doing? Jesus Christ, man. Look at this guy. Jesus. This guy has no clue what he's doing. That's an extendable hose, dude. This is classic. This guy's clueless. That hose right there, it's a reachable hose. Well, we got 378.9 here. The premium. Not too bad. How's the car looking, right? Oh, there's something over there going on, right? Yeah, Mustang, exhaust on it. The Mustangs are notorious for that, right? As my fuel nozzle falls out of my car and goes everywhere. All right, there you go. $61, 378.9, not too shabby. And should be in good shape here. Not too bad here for this Sam's Club. I like it. Every time I start this car, she sounds like she struggles. I borderline think this battery is not that healthy. I mean, what's that all about, right? Yeah, get the hell away from Sam's. Just keep driving, right? I ain't going on a Saturday. This place would be a zoo. All right. Fuel mileage went down a little bit. What's that all about, right? Yeah, so now, you know, the car defaults back to the auto, you know, suspension and everything. So you have to go down here to the SRT pages, and then it comes up, and then you got to hit the sport button. But what people don't understand is this right here. Once you go to export, this is where everybody crashes their Hellcats and Mustangs. See that traction control? It's off. Now, if you're not an incredibly experienced driver, you have to turn that back on. Okay, see here. Here's off. Here's on. And if you don't do that, you're a fool, because this car will go sideways on you and you'll crash. So for me, you know, and especially if your tires are cold, forget it. You're sideways. If you're not an experienced driver, you know the car. And that's why so many stories of Mustang people and Hellcat people crashing their cars. There's no doubt in my mind that they took the traction control off the vehicle. And so now we're back to sport mode, because the sport mode is obvious. That's what really lightens this car up, makes it much more fun, which it really does. But once again, you know, if you want to compare the GT500 to this car, since I own it, you know, what I talk about all the time is the exhaust isn't as nice. It's not. And it doesn't have the rev matching. So for me, and the Mustang is a smaller platform. Yes, it is. It's a smaller car. So it just radiates that more two-door coupe back road car. Now, I get it. The guys who are buying these cars aren't buying them for that. The people buying these cars, they want the straight line, exhilaration, badass looking car. You know, there's no doubt to me, this car has the look. You know, It's the theme, the muscle car era theme. And what a shame a Dodge is kicking this to the curb. They could do another 5 years, I guarantee you. They could run this car till 2030 of still selling this type of car and still do really well. There's no doubt in my mind. It would be insane. It's like the Volkswagen Beetle. How many years did they make that? Like 80 years? Something like that. They just retired it like 10 years ago. The original. I'm talking about a Volkswagen brought back the retro look. All right, I'm going to run out of, I think, video time. So I'm just kind of trying to radiate back to you the fun time, the Challenger. Hope you kind of feel in the passenger seat over here with me. And yeah, you're over there, John, or Michelle, or Luke, or whatever your name is that's following my channel. And some people are commenting on my Harley exhaust, and that's nice. There's a guy, and you know it's interesting. That's not legal. You see what the guy just went through there? Unless you have a top on that. I'm trying to think of the Polaris slingshot. Hard top on that. You have to wear a helmet. That's my understanding. They could have changed the law on that, but that's really categorized as a motorcycle. It's a three-wheel motorcycle. Yeah, I've looked at those. I mean, have I bought one? I've considered it, but it's not the same. I just can't see it just freewheeling down the back roads and that, feeling like it's any different than a convertible car, if you know what I mean. All right, back to the road race. All right, it's the race. Now with the windows down, I think you get a lot of more window ace in the real exhaust note. There's a TRD Pro Tacoma. I had one of those. Everybody kind of do their thing. Got a guy coming around me, and he missed her slingshot. This Ford Fusion. It's a little longer gear shifting. That's what happens. That sport mode. Why doesn't Dodge have the auto roll-up? It's so stupid. It's incredible. It's the biggest complaint from any Dodge owner, Challenger that is, that they don't have auto roll-up windows. And it's because it has a window, no window frame is the reason they claim. But the Mustang has a doesn't have a frame for the window, and it's got auto roll-up. Everybody does their own thing, and I think Dodge it's made them money for so many years. Why reinvent the wheel, right? Talked about that earlier. Why change everything? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So now I just live these roads where it turns into a power pull. So I'm in the right-hand lane. Now the guy in the truck, does he try to maneuver me? He did not. So he was diplomatic because he knows it's like everybody's got to go somewhere and everybody's got to do something, and challenge is who gets there first, right? Yeah, that's the challenge, right? Who gets there first? Yeah, it can go both ways. Who goes to jail first? Who gets home first? Who crashes first? Who gets home safely first? Right? So now here's the gears. I'd say it's right now is in like 6th gear. That'd be my guess. Okay? My guess would be that's 5th. Wonder why in this car it doesn't show the gear. I'm probably not looking right. It probably has somewhere else. I don't know. You know, where would that be? It would show me, besides going to the manual override shifters, then I get all that. You know, so is it in here? Is your air intake? Here's all your different. See, 13.9 volts. That sounds low. I think it's batteries. You know, they've been sitting too much, and I put on a battery tender the other day, and so I wonder what that. I think the battery's not doing very good. There's the tire pressures, which I don't mind them being a little low. These tire pressures are supposed to be 32, which once your car's warmed up, that should be saying like 34 or 35. But a little lower tire pressure gives you a little bit more traction. Coolant. There's your boost. See there? See that? And you can go to your SRT pages, and you can literally see all this information going on on your horsepower and everything. So there it is. But they have another screen over here. You can see everything. So right now I'm at 1 horsepower, 6 horsepower, right? And let's do the window down to hear the exhaust through the tunnel. All right, so look at that there. Right there goes. So we hit 600. So you hear that supercharge. That's what you hear. And you don't hear that on the GT500. We got another bridge coming up, so I know the window's down. But it is, so just humming along. Look at the minimum amount of horsepower this car takes just to kind of go down the road. Think about that. So it's really just the hard accelerations and you taking off. So here we go. Try to get a little blip here. Okay, so just about, I haven't even hit the 800 horsepower. I felt the back end of that one kind of kick out a little bit. Now here's another challenge we got. I'll put the window up. It's getting too noisy. Yeah, so, you know, that's pretty cool if you look at it. If you think about it, it's hard to believe that just rolling down the road, the minimum amount of power. And that's where the hybrid electric gas engine thing just makes so much sense. So here's another guy. So he's a Hellcat guy. It looks like he may be. If the back, no, I don't think he's in TAs on our. So these are guys that I've run. And they're good. I mean, the cars are good, but you literally have to go up to the higher. You got to really get the higher speeds to make that all really a separation. And that guy could have done a little performance on that car, but those 392s just don't. You got to rebuild the whole top end on them. I mean, it's so unfortunate. The Coyote 5.0 motor, these Mustangs, they're bullet Dodge. You know, part of me is like, why did Dodge do that? And part of me is like, because then you have so many guys that have Hellcats, borderline, the scat back, wide body setup. If you could supercharge that 392 with no problem and getting 700 horsepower on it, 800 horsepower. But you can't. The piston design in those motors isn't correct. So you literally destroy the piston. You'll detonate the piston. So I know guys do pro chargers on them. And I can say that, think if you keep it in the 600, if you go 550, 600 on it, I can see it. You go to 700, 800 on it, those pro chargers, I think you're going to detonate that motor. You're going to, that piston's going to, the piston can't disperse the heat. The way that piston's designed, it doesn't dispel the heat correctly, so the piston just literally melts down and you just blow your motor. Have that exact same truck, a TRD Pro Tacoma. You know, those trucks, it's so disappointing. You know, I sold those for the Rangers. I got my dad one of those. He had one of those. I was down in Florida for my dad for about a year. And then my 2019 Ranger came in, gold one I bought. And I took that down there and I took back the Tacoma Pro. The Tacoma Pros, I mean, it's just, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a Toyota guy, but no way. They're just, the seat pushes you into the windshield. The engine, they redesigned that engine, V6 engine, and it's such, to me, it's a dog. You have to put pedal to metal, you get that thing to have energy. And don't get me wrong, I like Toyota. I want the product to be nice. I've owned 2 of them, Pros, the newer generation. I had the Voodoo Blue, and I've had all the Tacoma Pros over the last 10 years. But when they redesigned that motor and they redesigned that exterior and interior, I went to the Ranger product. I like the Ranger product better. All right, gotta go to advanced. No, I go to AutoZone. Oh, you got it wrong. AutoZone to get some car. I just used my last setup on, what did I buy? What did I buy that I used that on? I can't even remember. Oh, the Ford F-150 Lightning truck. Yeah. Now this is very interesting. You see that Tesla right there? There was a guy literally dressed up like a hippie guy, and all kind of unique looking. And I saw him picking up garbage. I mean, I'm not making fun of him. I'm just sharing a story. So the guy goes over his Tesla. And you're thinking, if you saw the guy, you're thinking, you feel bad for the guy. You're thinking, this poor guy, he's freaking 40-year-old guy that's having to do trash. And, you know, what's going on? And, you know, it's not criticism anybody does that, but it just, you feel for people that, you know, have to do manual labor in those type of positions, janitors and stuff. And So anyways, so the guy walks over and he gets in a Tesla. And I'm like, wow, what's that all about? And when he gets in the car, he takes off this like costume. He's wearing a fake wig and hat and beard. And he's a guy that's really has very short hair and well cleaned up. And so it's like he's actually hiding from who he is. Because I was like, wait a second. Here's a guy that's walking around the property management. It's property management cleanup time around a shopping center. And this guy, you know, if you would guess this guy's going to get in an old Toyota Tacoma pickup truck or Toyota Corolla. And he gets in this, Tesla I just showed you. And as he's sitting in his car, I'm looking over there kind of discreetly, and I watch him take off all his outfit. I mean, oh my gosh. All right, I'm going back just because this is the more fun way. Hey, back there at AutoZone, I was right. So windshield washer fluid is $4.99. It's $4.99 a gallon, not the special stuff. And I asked the young guy there, he knows me, and so I said some guys, and this isn't even in the mode right now. It's not even the right mode to even have fun with that. So I asked the guy, I was like, $4.99, and he's like, I'm like, oh my God, it used to be $1.99. So the kid literally is like, yeah, it's $1.99. What's that all about? But $5 for a gallon of water with a little bit of Windex diluted into it so it doesn't freeze? I mean, are you kidding me? Think this through. All windshield washer fluid is water with a little bit of cleaner in it, and to a degree that helps it won't freeze as easily in the winter months. But it can. That's why you have the winter windshield washer fluid. But oh my gosh, talk about, yeah. I mean, that's starting to raise a lot of eyebrows. People are starting to wonder, why is everything so expensive? What's going on here? How much longer can the big guys pull the wool over everybody's eyes and everything's so expensive? How much longer? The oil industry, I can't wait to see that barrel of oil go to $40 a barrel. It'll be at 60 before the year's out. And that stock market, all these greedy short long guys that are just totally screwing with people. When do people raise their hand and say, I'm out, I'm taking a time out? Yeah, when that happens, yeah, that's when the 20,000K stock market's back. Oh, that never happened. Okay, hey, hope I'm wrong. Sincerely, I will benefit from nothing from people going through hardships. That isn't what I'm about. I'm just on more of the page of reality on how people are making so much money that claiming this and that and this is that expensive. Like, car dealers be so lucky to buy a car. It's interesting. My car sales guy, and I'm not calling him out, but he's really bugging me to buy another car. And I mean, what's going on? I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're watching my channel, I'm not here calling you out. I mean, you're a great guy, you're a great friend, but I mean, sincerely, and these people, car sales people, are never going to disclose what's going on. They're not going to do it. Then they're a prey. Take advantage of them. So here's the car and the auto. So this is the lackadaisical, mundane mode of the car. This is what you got to do. Got to go to SRT. Got to go to sport. So I'm going to wreck my fuel mileage. I got to take off traction control over here. It's a whole routine. Okay. And then the car has life. Then the fun factor begins. That's kind of, see, now the car has a little bit more excitement in it. See there? Kind of hear that? What are you hearing there? Exhaust or the supercharger? Oh, we're getting closer to home here. Nice little town here. Over the hill from me. Nice back roads and all. Just beautiful area back here. In the sport mode. Sport mode is the way to go. Now, it would really be cool if I was to jump in my GT500 and do a back-to-back video, right? Why are you going to do that? I hear you on that. Yeah, what I need to do is go home and do my Harley exhaust on my bike. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. I want to get back in at a respectable time so I can motorcycle and do some Harley ride with the exhaust. Yeah, I mean, the exhaust, it's all about the exhaust. Can't emphasize enough. It's huge. A lot of people don't like electric vehicles, not only because they just don't like the agenda attached to them, but there's no noise. Yeah, and Dodge more than ever is trying to lure the motorheads to, you know, think that this next Dodge Charger electric vehicle is the thing they should be going out and buy. And dead animals, just missed that. Yikes. Yeah, and this is where, to me, you know, this is a great car, but this is to me where the Mustang takes over. And I know guys will argue about that, but I think most people will be like, yeah, there's no way. This Challenger was not designed. It just wasn't, that wasn't its calling. You know, will it do well? It will. But compared to the GT500, just, I can't see it. Prove me wrong. And, you know, it's all about information on both sides of the coin. That's what I'm trying to do as we begin to wrap up this Dodge Challenger Hellcat Redeye wide body adventure today. Hopefully this has helped you understand more about the car without going every little detail of what size fuel tank it has and what size wheels and tires and the motor and the rear end, what gears are in it, and what transmission, and you can go through. It's infinite. All stuff you start talking about, all the little details. And I just figure there's so many videos on these cars. There's tons more than what I'm making, and they'll give you all that information, or just go to the specs on Dodge website, and they'll tell you. All right, everybody. I think I'm going to call it the end of the video because I probably won't even be able to include everything in this video because I've probably gone over an hour and a half. You hear the little burping in this car right now? So that's pretty cool. That's nice, but it's not the same. So, you know, quit comparing the Challenger to the GT500. Why are you doing that? Well, if you have $100,000 and you have options, what you going to pick? I mean, sincerely, that's all I'm trying to convey to anybody. What are you going to pick? That's all I'm trying to convey to you. And I'm just sharing my thoughts and views. So everybody, appreciate you watching my YouTube channel. And I hope this is another adventurous video for you. Learning video. Yeah, and then what's up next? It's going to be the Harley Street Glide exhaust Reinhardt Sapon muffler video. That'll be the next. And then hopefully get some riding time out there to share our exhaust experiences. And now I got the putt-putt. This is where you get these back roads. And the person, they going right? Yeah, yeehaw! Because I get to do a little fun time here on these back roads. Always know the back roads. Always know where you're going. Always know the craziness you're to get yourself into. I mean, these roads, as everybody knows, you can get crazy. Now see, it didn't catch that second gear. See, so right there, it just shows you in these cars, if you don't have that second gear, it's worthless. The third gear is the worst. And yeah, you can paddle shift this thing, but with the technology these days, these cars, on the transmissions, they just know better. So you have to literally be at a certain speed here for this thing to be down that one gear. So let's see if this is it right here. This is it. See, you hear that? If I didn't have that traction control on, I would have been sideways. I'd have been that guy's fence. Yeah, you hear those tires? The whole back end was shaking. Yeah, so it's second gear. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching Ice Age TV. And up here, it's dangerous. So many deer go across this road. So if you come flying up this road right here, it's like a major path for deer. You'll be hauling butt, and guess what's going to happen? Bing! You're done.